What is A2P 10DLC? Should you care about it? And how do you register? We're going to cover all that in this video, but let's start with question number 2. Should you care about it? Yes, you're going to have to care about it, especially if you're going to be doing any type of text messaging within your business. You may already be, but moving forward, you're going to have to register, otherwise you won't be able to send any text messages in your business. So let's start with what is A2P 10DLC. If we Google search it, it refers to a system in the United States that allows businesses to send application-to-person type messaging via standard 10-digit long code phone numbers. So let's start with A2P, application-to-person. What's that? If you're using any type of software to send text messages to your customers, hence application-to-person, not your personal phone sending text messages back and forth to your friends and family, that doesn't apply. This is for businesses using software to send text messages. And it's when businesses are sending text messages via a standard 10-digit long code phone number. So real quick, what's a 10-digit long code phone number? It's your typical phone number. 3-digit area code followed by a 7-digit number. And that's only going to apply in the United States. But if you're not in the United States and your customers are in the United States and you're using a United States 10-digit phone number, then yes, this is going to apply to you. So I recommend sticking around. All right, now let's take a little brief step back in history. What is this? Why has this come to be? As we all know, with emails, we get spam emails all the time. It sucks. Now, over the past couple of years, we've been starting to get a lot more text messages as spam. Probably getting all these messages such as your Netflix account is overdue. Maybe you don't even have a Netflix account. Your shipment is delayed until you click this button and update something. Or your Wells Fargo card we use at Amazon. Any of those all spam messages. We hate them. Everybody does. This is what the industry is moving to help prevent and minimize and actually get rid of all that spam. So initially, the government wanted to step in. They wanted to come in and put some regulation in it. But all the phone carriers, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, they came together and they said, no. We're going to take care of this ourselves. We'll put in our own regulation. So they came up with this A2P 10DLC. Now, if we go over to this document from Twilio, which Twilio is one of these online messaging softwares, it just happens to be the biggest in the industry. They have a lot of good information on their website here. But let's start with this. Effective July 5th, 2023, all 10 DLC phone numbers used to send SMS and MMS messages to U.S. phone numbers must be fully registered to an approved campaign under your brand. Messages sent using unregistered phone numbers will be subject to a gradual increase of message blocking by Twilio beginning July 5th, ultimately leading to a full block of all unregistered U.S.-bound messages sent after August 31st. So this is the hard deadline. If you don't register for A2P 10DLC by August 31st, whatever software you're using, you will not be able to send any more messages. They will be stopped until you get registered. This is not a high-level thing. This is not a Twilio thing. It's not any of those messaging softwares out there. This is carrier-based. So your AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, all of them who control the phones, they are the ones that are putting this in place. This is Twilio talking about it. Now, if we go to some of the other major carriers, we go to close.com, they're talking about it as well. If you go to Allaware, they're talking about it as well. OpenPhone, they talk about it as well. VanillaSoft is another one. They're also talking about it, showing you how to register. Each one, they're going to have their own help docs on how to register. In this video, I'm going over HighLevel and how to register. So now let's jump into it and actually walk through the registration process. All right, so in your account here, you're gonna go down to settings, then you're gonna go to phone numbers, and now you're gonna see Trust Center up here. If you're on the LeadConnector phone system, then you will see Trust Center up there. If you're on your own Twilio account, then you're gonna have to register via Twilio's dashboard. But if you're on LeadConnector phone system, then you'll have the Trust Center up here. And this software has made it really easy to get the registration process done. So now we go to Trust Center here. We're going to have the step-by-step process on how to get this registration done. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the A2P brand and campaign registration. Click on Start Registration. And it's going to walk you through. It's going to ask you questions. It's going to pretty much guide you through exactly what to do to get up and running. So the first thing it asks is what type of business are you? Do you have an EIN number, meaning you have a LLC, corporation, you have a foreign business? If you don't, that's fine. You can still register as a sole proprietor. And that would be the second option down here. No, the business I'm registering does not have a US EIN. Now in this video, I'm going to go over both. I'm going to go over the EIN registration, and I'm also going to go over the sole proprietor registration. So I'll put in the video here, somewhere in the video, the timestamp to the sole proprietor if you just want to jump over there first. But for this first part, we're going to start with the EIN. Now before I click next, let's read this down here. It says you can find your EIN on your IRS or previous tax return document, W-2, W-9, CP-575. That would be the best one if you can have that. Now, if I go up to this tab over here, this I'll have down in the description as well. This is from the IRS. This is if you've lost or misplaced your EIN. Walks you through on how to get a copy of it if you don't have it. You're going to want to have one of these documents because you're going to want to put exactly what it is on these documents on the next steps, because the registration process, if there's even a little bit off, say the apartment number says FOUR versus an number 4. Any little thing that's different, a period versus a dash, that actually can cause the system to be delayed in getting your approval. But if you have it exact, there's been plenty of registrations in the past, and what people have been seeing, if they have it exactly as it is on the document, the system will pretty much automatically register you, and it'll be pretty instant. If you have even a little bit off, then it goes into a manual review process, and that can take several weeks, even up to a couple months. So you want to make sure it's exact, otherwise you're going to be delayed in this. And with July 5th coming up, or maybe watching this after July 5th, but there's going to be a lot of people jumping on this and trying to get registered, and so the process is going to be taking a lot longer. So let's go ahead and click on next. Now here, there's going to be 2 one-time registration fees. Currently at the recording of this video, the registration for the standard brand registration is $4.41. And then there's another one for the campaign registration. This is currently $16.54 one time. So this one is registering your brand, and this one is registering the campaign, meaning what are you sending the text messages out for. Then there's also an additional campaign fee, and it could be up to $12 per month that will apply according with TCR rules. So TCR stands for the campaign registry. What that is all the carriers, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, all of them coming together, and they form this campaign registry where you're going to be registered into the database. Now, when you register, you're also going to be given a trust score, and that's going to depend on your business history, messages you've sent and received, and are you in good standing or not. That could be, I've been told, anywhere from $2 up to $12. That's why just here round up to be safe, more safe than sorry. $12, it could be that, but it's going to really depend on your specific brand. So we will click on next. Now here's all your business details. This is what you're going to fill out. Now this is where you want to pull up your EIN or your CP 575 document, which looks something like this. So you're going to have your address, the name of the business, and your EIN number. You want to put this, again, exactly what you see on here into this form. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to speed up this video, and I'm going to input all the information here. All right, so I just filled in some mock data in here. So we'll click on next. And now here you want to put in your business address. Now this is going to be the address that is currently on your CP575 or your latest W2 or W9, whatever that is, you want to put that in exactly as you see it on here. So I'll do the same thing here and put some information in. All right, now I'll click on next. Now I can do the authorized representative. Who is the point of contact if they need to reach out to you for any reason? Now I'm going to click next. All right, so now if you don't have an EIN, so you haven't formed your business yet and you're just a sole proprietor, what you're going to do is you're going to select, no, I don't have an EIN. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a timestamp somewhere on this video here that you can skip ahead if you are not a sole proprietor and you actually have a business. Then you can just skip ahead and skip this and you'll get to the next part, which is step 6, which is all the campaign details, which is going to be the same for both sole proprietor and for business. Then you'll click on next. Now here you're going to see pretty much the same thing. You're going to see the same 2 sole proprietor brand registration one-time fee and sole proprietor campaign registration one-time fee. Currently they're the same prices. Now the main difference between this and the standard registration, if you have an EIN, is that with the sole proprietor, you're only allowed up to 3,000 segments per day. A segment is 160 characters. So if you send out a text message with 160 characters or less, that's one segment. And on sole proprietor, you're allowed up to 3,000. Whereas on the standard registration, you're allowed up to 6,000 segments per day. That's the main difference you see here. And also down here, the additional campaign fee for this one, it's only $250 per month. Then after this, you will click on next. Over here, you'll see similar business details with some slight differences than if you're doing the standard registration using an EIN number. Here, legal business name, you can put in your company name if you don't have a company name, since you're a sole proprietor. Says you can just use your own name for this brand. And then next, you'll fill in this information. Okay, so I'll go ahead and fill this information in, and then we'll go to the next step. After you put your information in, you'll click on next. Now here you're going to put in your business address, or in this case, probably just your home address. And then we'll click on next. So here you'll see a brand name, and now you'll select your industry. Now this part here, what this says is please provide a mobile number that you have access to so you can confirm an OTP verification. Only US and Canada numbers will be accepted. You may not use a CPAS number, such as one obtained from LeadConnector, meaning it has to be your physical number. You can't use some other online number that you've gotten somewhere. You cannot use the same mobile number to register more than 3 sole proprietor brands. This limit is managed by the TCR. So if you try to do more than 3, you'll actually get rejected. But here what you're going to do is you'll put in your phone number and then you'll click on next. And what's going to happen is you're going to receive a text message back from TCR saying something along the lines of, you are registering for TCR. Please reply yes if you would like to be registered. And so all you have to do is reply yes. Then once you do that, you will be brought to the next step. Then you'll continue with the campaign details, which are going to be the same steps that you'll see from the standard business registration. The beginning part here was just different. The rest is all going to be the same. So go ahead and put your number in there, click next, and I'll see you on the next screen. All right, so now we're on step 6, and this is where we're getting into the campaign registration details. This is going to be asking about the messages that you're going to be sending out from your business. The first thing it starts with is the campaign use case. From here, you'll have a drop down of several different options. Now, this is going to be dependent on what your business is mostly doing with texting. Most likely, I would say just click the recommended, the low volume mixed. But if your business is only doing two-factor authentication type messages, then you can select that one. Most likely, I would say the recommended low volume mixed, which will allow you to send a mix of different messages. Next, we're going to fill out the use case description. First thing to start off with is you see a minimum length here of 40 characters and then a maximum length of 4,096 characters. There's a reason for that. So in the description here, don't just put something simple like SMS marketing. That really won't get you approved. It's not that descriptive. They want you to be very descriptive in this, telling them exactly what you're using texting for within your business. That's why there's a 40 character minimum length in here so that you can be very descriptive. The more descriptive you are, the better and the quicker you will get approved for your registration. Also in here, you can see there's an example. This campaign sends appointment information and confirmation messages to customers. All right, so now you want to be very descriptive in here. So for example, if you're a dental practice, maybe you'd say something like, we're a dental practice that sends appointment reminders leading up to scheduled appointments. Or we send a monthly promotional SMS informing our clients of new services and products that we offer. Or we communicate with our patients to determine the most appropriate services for their dental needs. Something like that. All right, so be descriptive of the examples that you put in there so that you get approved and also get approved quicker. So I'll go ahead and put some in now so that you can see. All right, so I put in here, we're a dental practice that sends appointment reminders leading up to their scheduled appointments. We send a monthly promotional SMS with our newly released services and offers. We communicate with our customers to determine the most appropriate services for their dental needs. So there, that's pretty descriptive. Now they know exactly what you're using SMS for in your business. We'll go ahead and click on next. And now in here, this is asking for 2 sample messages. So this is where you actually want to take pretty much copy and paste sample messages that you have maybe in some workflows, some ones that you've sent out in the past, sample messages that you will be sending to your customers. Don't just put in something simple of your appointment's coming up tomorrow. Be detailed and try to put your exact message in there. You could probably even go into your workflow and copy a message and put it in here, even if it has some of the custom fields, as long as the custom fields are ones that are recognizable by a human. So contact first name, contact phone number, things like that. If you have some other custom fields in there, you might want to replace those with an example you'd actually put in there. So you want to do 2 sample messages in here. I would say pick 2 messages that are going to be sent out the most, your top 2. And then there's also these 2 checkboxes down here. The message will include embeddable link. The message will include phone numbers. I would recommend probably checking these anyways because marketing, you're probably going to be putting a link in there, especially if you're going to be sending out, say, a calendar link or book on my calendar here. So there's a link. And then including a phone number. Now this is going to be, say, good example would be if you're an agency and you're setting up a workflow for internal notifications. So when your client gets a new lead, you send them a text message that says, you have a new lead, their name is Bob Smith, here's their email, and here's their phone number. In that case, there's a phone number in the text. So I would probably check these 2. Now I'm going to fill these in and I'll see you back. Okay, so now one thing to note, it says up here, must include your business name. And this one down here says must include your opt-out keyword. As a side note, anytime you send text messages out to your leads, to your customers, the very first message that goes out to that person always needs to have 2 things in place. One is needs to include the business name, who it's coming from, so that they know. It also needs to include the opt-out keywords so they know that they can opt out. For example, in this one, I put, hi, contact first name. This is Dr. John from Dental Smiles. Your appointment for start date at start time has been confirmed. Please check your email for details. I look forward to speaking with you. Use our first name. Now it also says here, you may reply stop at any time to opt out. So these are the 2 things that need to be in there. As you see, the same thing for this second message. Hi, contact first name. This is Dr. John from Dental Smiles. I want to confirm that your free teeth whitening has been claimed. Please check your email for more details. Use our first name. You may reply stop at any time to opt out. So those are 2 things that always need to be in there. And so for these sample messages, make sure you definitely put them in there. Next, we scroll down here. I would then check these 2. So then we'll click on next. Now we're on the final step here, which is the end user consent. So this first one here is how do end users consent to receive messages? The example is end users can opt in by visiting the website and adding their phone number. They can then check a box agreeing to receive text messages from the brand. Additionally, end users can also opt in by texting start to a specific number. So in here, this is where you want to be descriptive on how are your end users consenting to receive messages. For example, you can have, I have a chat widget on my website for people to text me to ask questions. Or another example is I have a form on my contact page that has a checkbox that says, if you'd like us to reply via text message, click here. So by checking that box, they are consenting to receive text messages. All right, so the 2 examples I have here are I have a chat widget on my site for people to text me to ask me questions. I have a form on my contact page, and I put in parentheses the actual link to my contact page that has a checkbox that says if you'd like us to reply via text, click here. Now, it is good practice to actually put your website in there if you have a contact us form and maybe a calendar on there. Now, if you do, make sure you actually have the checkbox there, because as they're looking over this and getting ready to approve you, they may actually go to your website and check to see what you actually said there. So if you have a chat widget, if you have a contact page, make sure you have these actually in place. But by doing this and them seeing you actually have a website, this actually can help you get approved, period, but also even quicker. Now, the other thing is opt-in keywords. For in this case, maybe you have somewhere on your website that says send start to this phone number to opt in to receive marketing messages from us. And so in that case, you would put in those keywords. Some examples are maybe start, maybe opt in, maybe subscribe, maybe just your business name, they text that. Anything like that, make sure you put those in there. Now, this opt-in message, you want to put something that has your business name and the opt-out keywords. For example, this is going to be maybe the first time that they interact with your website, they fill out the form, the chat widget, something like that. You want to send back a message to them saying you're successfully opted in for messages from your business name, replies to opt in, subscribe, so that they know that they're opted in and they can always opt out at any time. All right, so what I put here is you have successfully opted in for messages from Dental Smiles LLC. You may reply stop at any time to opt out. So once you're done, once you fill all that out and you have a lot of detailed information in there, then you'll go ahead and click on submit. Then you'll see this pop up. It says your information has been successfully submitted. It may take up to 7 days for your brand approval and an additional 4 to 5 weeks for your campaign approval. So that's why you want to get on this early, because you see it could be a long time getting approved. That's the other thing, is why you want to be very descriptive and detailed about your messages so that they know what you're actually doing with your texting and you have a higher chance of getting approved a lot quicker. And then so you'll see here it's pending, and then you don't have to click on the submit for business profile review, because that's the first couple steps of that process here. Now, once you're done with all that, it's just going to be a waiting game. So it's waiting until you have approved here. Then if you do the shake and stir, it'll also be approved down here. So check back often to see when it's approved. Now, if you put all your information in correctly on your EIN, or you did the business phone number for sole proprietor, most likely you'll get approved right away. The campaign registration can take a little bit longer, as we saw on that last screen. So make sure you go ahead and get this done now, because a lot of people are starting to do this. July 5th is coming up. And then if you don't do this, the longer you wait, the more people are going to be doing this, and the longer it's going to take to get yourself approved. So with that, I'll see you on the next video.